Welcome to Listing Leaders Monthly Interview. This month we are welcoming Julie Jones, broker associate from Premier Estate Properties. Julie is a luxury home specialist in the Fort Lauderdale and surrounding area. And Julie, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to talk to you about luxury real estate in South Florida and in Fort Lauderdale in particular.
Before we get started, Julie, can you share with us the volume you've produced over the past several years?
Absolutely. My volume last year in 2012 was approaching 70 million, and 2011 was 62 million, and 2010, which I think was rumored to be the worst year in business, I maintained a volume of 58 million. I've been Wall Street ranked consistently then in the top 250 agents U.S.-wide.
That is incredible. To start with, tell us a little bit, Julie, about how you got started in real estate.
Well, I originally moved to the U.S. from London, where every man's home is his castle, and where it's a very traditional way of doing business, and service excellence is a high priority. I've been licensed for over 16 years, 10 years of which I have been with Premier Estate Properties as their top producing broker associate in the Los Olas office. I work for a small but very powerful and exclusive brokerage with offices in Vero Beach, Boca Raton, Delray Beach, and Fort Lauderdale. We are affiliated with Christie's International Real Estate, Mayfair International, LuxuryRealEstate.com, and leading real estate companies of the world. And these are powerful affiliations. And for any agent who is starting new in the business, I would encourage them to look hard at their affiliates, especially if they have global affiliations, such as Mayfair International in London and Luxury Portfolio, and to really capitalize on branding themselves alongside their affiliates.
Great advice. Let's go back to when you were a new agent. You've been in business for a while. What did you do to build yourself to the success you've been able to achieve?
I followed the simple real estate practices. I had a very good training with Coldwell Banker and then worked for a small boutique company. And I put in the hard-earned equity. I knocked on doors, handed out magazines, followed expired listings, cold called, and I think that direct mail is very important in establishing a farm area and as an important element of marketing.
Well, since we're talking about direct mail, what kind of direct mail marketing did you do and do you still do?
I do the traditional just sold and just listed because local people love to see that. And then when I was building my business with Premier Estate Properties, every month I would do a full-color newsletter, Beverly, and I would introduce local builders, local interior design companies, get market opinions from lenders and from attorneys. So work with tax advisors and other well-connected attorneys in Fort Lauderdale. Also, it's very important to create relationships. So creating relationships with a strong sphere of influence, such as interior designers, luxury builders, attorneys, wealth advisors, lenders. These are all people that you should try and be in contact with as much as possible. And I've also done my fair share of open houses. Never discount an open house because you never know who you will meet, and it's very important, to my mind, to have the homes open and to get your name out there and meet people.
Great advice.
I have my broker's license, which I think is critical for your level of education and credibility in the business. I also have a very hardworking and very talented team. I have a full-time office manager who handles a lot of the seller liaison, Beverly. So he handles the marketing, paperwork, et cetera. I have 3 buyer specialists who work with me, one of whom concentrates a lot on handling the contract closing, which is an important part of any transaction. Then I have a social media specialist who works for me part-time, and she does a lot for me with my Facebook and blogging, et cetera. I work with a very talented web and graphic design company so that anything that I produce is of the highest quality. I'm actually rebuilding my website because it needs to be compatible with iPhones and iPads. So we're actually rebuilding our website. But I do think it's important for agents to invest in a good personal website. So I have my company-wide website, which is fabulous. And then I have my personal website, which is luxuryrealestateftl.com. That has been very important in work with local buyers as well, with like local buyers and sellers. The other thing that I think is key to the success as a real estate professional is not to treat your customers as one commission check. I think in this business, it's very everybody wants to make money. We all respect that. But I wrote a blog once saying that I was my customer's highest paid employee, and I don't get paid until closing. And I honestly think that that's true. Our market is $1 million plus exclusively. So when I take a listing, I always try to remember that I am that property owner's highest paid employee, and I need to conduct myself and prove results accordingly.
That is a great way to look at it.
Well, I have a corporate background. My degree was in marketing. I worked for General Motors for 5 years as an area sales manager. And I think it's very important to remember that we are perceived by our commission. Attorneys, the owners of the property, the buyers, they all consider that we're getting a big fat commission check, which isn't always the case because we all have overheads and we're all in business. But we need to understand that perception and make sure that we are perceived as having good value and earning that commission check.
And I'm sure your clients appreciate your fresh approach to working for them. Julie, in terms of client services and that high level of touch and high level of accountability to your sellers, what types of special services do you bring to your luxury clients?
I treat them all the same. So the owner of the $1 million condo has exactly the same marketing platform as the $16 million house that I have listed. I follow the same blueprint, and they all have the same level of advertising and service.
Do you do anything like staging homes or client parties, those types of extra services?
We do all of that. We work on staging with Meredith Bear from California, who are a top staging company. We are big advocates of staging. In terms of our luxury partners, in terms of branding, we do a lot around the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show every year. And our luxury partners, when we hold a VIP event, are Rolls-Royce, Aston Martin, Cartier, Bentley, JP Morgan, and of course, lenders such as Deutsche Bank. Christie's is our main affiliation, so that's an important endorsement. And for us, the yacht brokers such as Worth Avenue Yachts in Palm Beach are a very important affiliation for us. So for new agents, they need to, for instance, we have a lot of water and oceanfront property, which comprises about 80% of my business. So because of that, I look for good associations with the local yacht brokers and boating entities to promote my business.
What kind of periodicals or do you advertise in or market in, or do you find online is much more helpful to getting the word out?
I think that a good marketing plan is one that consists of various media. So I still have a print media presence, which includes Unique Homes, the Tropic Magazine, which is a local South Florida publication. I also work, DuPont Registry is one of my favorite magazines, and I've sold property directly from that magazine. So my advice is to pick carefully, look at distributions, and pick the editions that are relevant to your listing.
Well, Julie, what advice would you have for agents who are looking to break into the luxury market?
To work for a company that has a very good training program and opportunities to hold open houses, and just to start with the basics and to build from there. And to have very good market knowledge. You know, you have to know the market values. You have to understand where the opportunities are. You have to understand the price per square foot. And you really have to be very knowledgeable to work in the luxury arena. But everybody starts somewhere, and it's just a matter of being very good at the basics and building your business on an extremely high level of service.
That's great. That's great. Well, what does 2014 hold for you?
2014 holds for me. Well, I'm newly married, and my husband is joining me in the business. He's a Frenchman who also speaks Spanish, so we're now able to offer a multilingual service, and I'm hoping to double my volume this year.
So you're going to go over 100 million this year.
That's the goal. That is the goal, to exceed 100 million.
Well, with your track record and your hard work ethic, I think you will be able to do that this year. So, Julie, you've had quite a bit of experience working with agents and their clients from across the nation and across the seas. What kind of advice would you have for people who have international clients in the luxury market?
Word of advice to agents setting out is to find out where people are moving from. From South Florida, we have a lot of New Yorkers, Canadians, Latin Americans, South Americans, and an increasing Russian population, with our eye on Asia. As Miami Airport opens with direct flights to Beijing, the Asian market will be increasingly important in terms of attracting buyers and investors to the area.
Great. So how can people contact you if they have a luxury buyer that's going to be moving to your area?
They can contact me by phone or by email, 954-328-3665, and visit my website, which is luxuryrealestateftl.com.
Wonderful. Julie, you have been a wealth of information, especially concerning the luxury market in South Florida. And thank you for taking time to talk with us today.
Thank you, Beverly.